Hello everyone and welcome back to EPEC, where the current top regional teams that have been working their way through the ESL leagues have found their position here, trying to duke it out for spots at the Mountain Dew League relegation. We have wrapped up our first block of games and we can finally look over those results, Ben.
Yeah, there's been a few interesting ones so far. I mean, I did briefly mention that aTTaX Fish game because of the Kiyoshima factor, and evidently it was a big one. Fish 123 took them down.
And that's crazy. Fish obviously splashing their way in there with the little flippers.
Of course.
They've done a good amount of damage. They've been able to lock that one down. That's an upset. aTTaX obviously the fan favorite when you think about it. That's a team compared to a mix, but the mix win.
Yeah, to be fair, the mix, because it doesn't technically link to the national qualifier, like where you come in, it means that the Fish lineup was not actually even. I mean, technically you could say there's 3 UK residents, right?
Yeah.
But it was Surreal, Fry, 2 fantastic players there. Blame F, who played quite a bit with Epsilon, Crucial and Kia, which is a fantastic lineup on paper. Like, all of those players are phenomenal. And for them to beat, aTTaX, I did mention Mirage, bit of a puggy map. 16-10 is fairly one-sided for a best of one, sorry.
That's the one quote-unquote UK team
that
will do well, I think, out of the two sides. Purely because there's so much talent and they kind of get away with a 3 out of 5 rule, as you said, because Keo is now a UK resident, has been UK resident for a while, so even though he is a French fragger, it does work out well for them, and they lock it down, Ben. 16-10. Any other score lines here that were interesting points you can pick out?
I'm not too surprised by the results all around. I mean, Defusekids lost 16-9 to LDLC, not too surprised by that. I'm surprised to see that Forge were only able to get the 2 rounds on the board against Nexus, which seems quite one-sided, but they were playing Train. So, if a team starts T-side, can't quite get it going, that type of scoreline is not too surprising. Turkish side, no quarter cartel, dropped 16-4 to Kingwin, not too surprised about that. And then Euronics and KPI, I do expect Euronics to come through in that group, and KPI, I've not seen many of those players in that lineup in the past, if I'm honest. So 16-8 is not too surprising. No,
Euronics are a much more favoured team in the German league in the Meisterschaft. They did well. They took a 2nd place to Sprout, obviously at Gamescom. But they've seen a few changes as well, which is quite interesting, because they had a consistent lineup for a long time with Murbit and all the boys, and that's all been switched up now.
Yeah, Koalor, formerly of Prophecy.
Oh, yeah, Prophecy fame from the Gfinity.
And Schneider, which a lot of people will know. Obviously, his previous past in Dignitas. He's been all over the place, really. And he'd been out of action for quite a while, if I'm honest. And then suddenly comes back in. He had a little twit longer, bit emotional here and there, talking about his experiences, personal difficulties, that sort of thing. So I am hoping for him to do quite well, and they have started strong with that 16-8 victory.
He was a nice guy, actually. He was one of the players that I remember performed very well throughout the season we saw in person with him, so good to see. But the game we have coming up now is aTTaX versus Defusekids, and this is an interesting one. Defusekids, more in recent form, we saw the opening roster where it had Joey and Crucial and co. It's filtered through quite a few different lineups since that point, and now the people that you may remember from back then, Monu obviously still on the team, the newer face, someone of ex-Endpoint fame as well, Dion, Fasher, he's in the mix.
Yeah, Fasher was always one of those interesting ones in that previous Endpoint lineup. Flashy player in some instances, but did have issues in that lineup. Obviously, Vin and Guido as well, they've been sticking around in that Defusekids lineup for quite a while, but Clace, I'm going to imagine that's what it's pronounced, not too sure. I've never actually seen him before, he's only 18. Not much previous history on HLTV either, so it's a newcomer. I'm going to assume he's one of those newcoming talents from the Benelux scene. I'm hoping for a good performance from him.
That would be nice to see when we get into that one. Let's move over and see their opponents as well. aTTaX. This is a lot more set in stone in terms of the roster, but
yeah, the Hunden.
Tis the Hunden.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've actually had the stable roster the past 4 months, which is probably one of the longest actually in this tournament. If I'm honest, we're going back to probably Kingwin as the other team like that. And in recent months, they won the 99 Damage League. I believe that was, I want to say it was over Euronics actually. I'm not too 100% sure on that, but stable roster, been going around quite a while. 45th in the world on HLTV, solid rating right there. But these 2 teams, we did have a previous matchup in that last game. These 2 have never faced off. So there's no previous history to actually look at and be like, okay, because this was on the previous map, chances are this team will be favoured, that sort of thing. But Inferno, there's no real reason to give a favoured side, is there? It's one of those maps, everybody knows its player. It's quite an even playing field, so Be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a close affair once again, obviously. A lot of Inferno to start off the day. We do have the Veto here, so you guys can take a look at that and see exactly
aTTaX is fourth.
why
preferred. This is actually Defusekids' #1 map, technically.
That's super favoured to them.
See how fortunate they are there, though. It was 5 on Nuke. So it was so close to being actually into Nuke. Ooh. I mean, just based off that, you're going to assume Defusekids have the advantage, right?
In confidence and in terms of the veto, you think they should have taken it, but we are going to be jumping into the action. We are live with the pistol round. aTTaX are on the T side, Defusekids on the CT side. It doesn't start off too nicely for him. Place gets hit in the face, and Keto walks around just lumping people out, Ben, as they've got the site control in seconds.
A very, very quick take there from the aTTaX guys. Full-on split onto the site. Unfortunately, for Defusekids, they only had the 2 men there, and they weren't able to get a single shot down. And it does mean a 3v5 retake. The kit was actually in pit, I think. So, I mean, it is always possible, but it's a very different, or difficult task, rather, for the players to take.
Guido. The response, but the console himself had the angle covered. Vin with a trade. It's just down to the 1 versus 3, and console will win it. aTTaX do get the opening pistol round, Ben, and they take the early advantage over Defusekids. So this is Defusekids' best map.
Technically.
This is what
using
they've,
that veto system.
This is what they've listed as the map they would most want to play. So that was their first pick. aTTaX 4th, but a good start for them on the T side. And the investment coming out, we're going to see 1 MP5 as well. So it's getting a little bit of love today.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder, why did I not see it once during the entire weekend?
It was really weird, yeah.
That's quite bizarre.
Because I saw a lot of people using it.
Yeah.
It was mostly the Danes and the Source players. Then people started to pick it up the longer that went on, though. Like, by the time we got into the 3rd day of the Chicago qualifiers, quite a few people were using it.
So I guess it's just slowly getting accustomed to it. And some of the teams that who weren't quite ready, I guess.
I suppose as well for them, it dropping literally just before the tournament started, wanted to stick to what they know, I guess, rather than... I
suppose.
Who knows?
So it looks like it's going to be a heavy take here. The smoke arch, and I believe that is the smoke for mini pit as well. Actually, it's smoke, archway smoke and maybe library? Yeah, library, okay. So it's the full take. They split off the arch side, and then they're going to crunch this side from both angles. Monu does get the first kill. Does start quite well. Waiting for the next player to come through the smoke, but he's only got 5 bullets left in this clip. This take has been delayed ever so long.
Yeah, they're burning a lot of time here. Keto, though, with the MP5, will be able to take down Monu, and everything crumbles from that point, Ben. They had them halted, but the response was to just bite down and snap against them. Vin, and the 1 versus 4. Vin will be traded out by Surison, and that is the 2nd round for aTTaX. Even though it was a lot slower, and they did look a bit timid in some cases, they did dominate quite easily.
Yeah, it was fairly composed from them. I mean, they lost that first man, and they just thought, okay, don't force the issue. We don't need to jump through that smoke as well, try to get the trade. Slow it down. We do have the better weapons anyway. And in a very quick flurry, I think it was, what, 6 seconds, 3 players from that Defusekids side just dropped instantly. And this looks like an absolute stack on the small side. All USBs, get into some cheeky positions, and hope for an enemy to walk in.
Molotov's going to go in. They're getting ready to burst out, moving towards this B-bomb site. The early tag, though, Surison knocked down to 44 HP, and that spooked them, Ben.
Yeah, at the same time, Keto's getting this information towards the other side, and they just think, it's probably a stack there, we'll take that chance. Let's just go the other way. And Defusekids, after that first bit of contact, they know we have to force the issue. All 5 men down banana. Surison's got a bit of a job on his hands here if he does peek up.
Everyone's kept busy.
Oh my word.
Oh, we should just be able to mow them all down.
A lot there.
Yeah, that was a struggle. He has been punished, so those frags aren't going to be found on the map 10. That would have been the moneymaker. That could have been a really nice little cash builder for him, but instead it is just Guido in a 1 versus 3 as they struggled to kill those players. He's going to go down here. Will get tagged. Left on 71, just trying to reposition. Absolutely swarming onto his position. It's only a matter of time before he gets taken down here, Ben, and the round will end. That will be a 3rd picked up for aTTaX. The Defusekids can then buy into the following round. Yeah, slumped out by the MP5.
And he does manage to switch that to an AK as well, so considering they only DSPs, 2 kills isn't too bad.
That's actually nice that he did get the kill in the MP5, just for the extra cash, then trade over.
Yeah, very methodical. Just $300 difference, but that could go quite a long way if they were to lose this round, for example.
It's a difference potentially of a nade here and there that could save you around that extra smoke, the extra HE. The AWP on Guido on the Defusekids side. Now they've actually been able to invest into the weapons they want. What are they going to look like? Ooh, the nades.
Good double nade, yeah. Very solid double nade. Starting off strong, I mean, they can clearly see we don't need to force this issue at Banana. They use the grenades. Solid damage. And then they give it up fully. Not quite like Endpoint with the Endpoint were kind of half and half. They were like, Max was already back inside, but Pulse was stuck at sandbags. They kind of half battled like the entire way. And it looks like Flash is getting ready to be pushed in from the Flash. Gets the first two, gets the third. Oh. The Flash wasn't even thrown. Vin was still there with it out.
All the damage done by Dion. Fasha looking good. He always has been quite a good talent individually, but the confidence will come back to bite him there. Goes down as he peeks out for the 1 versus 2. Is overwhelmed by those men, and now Console and Sirison will slowly assault the bomb site. Gotta imagine they're the hard favourites into this round though, Ben.
Yeah, they do give them the site. They don't need to force the issue once more. Then, little spam here and there. Just trying to wait it around. I mean, aTTaX, as soon as they get the plant, they'll be in a better situation. But there's just no nades, so they need to get into decent post-plant positions here. But unfortunate for them, Clace does have a molly, so whether he uses this at Dark or New Box, one of the players will be pushed out.
Ooh, Konso finds that frag. He's... Oh, and they're just going to be pushing him as well. Goes for the face straight down mid. What? All of the kills are going in their favor. That was clinical. Console with a 4K, 1 frag found from Sirison as they just take every firefight. It was beautiful from Fasha to start it off, Ben, but it doesn't matter if you can't close out the round. That should have been an opener for Defusekids, you got to feel like.
That was technically a 5v2.
Yeah.
And somehow, it doesn't even go down to a 1v1. It was a 2v0 technically at the end. Like, that's a horrible round to lose, especially if you're Fasha. If you are potentially thinking of getting tilted or something, you just got 3 kills in that quick instance. Technically got out. Did die following that, but a really bad round to lose there. And it doesn't start off too great for them again. I mean, Defusekids lose mono instantly crossing mid, and then 5 HP. Sits on the fountain, jumps around a bit.
Trying to wash himself clean.
Yeah, it doesn't like the blood.
Fasha with the deagle. He is going for these fast peaks, just hoping he can maybe connect to someone's head there. Does get a little tag off, but the response is hard from Hunden. Decapitates him, now they push in. Vin is so low, obviously they're going to overpower him. That's a free bomb plant, free site control. And that'll be a 5th T-side round picked up for alternate aTTaX. Reminiscent of the Endpoint game, Ben. The T-side just racking up rounds early. And a struggled response from Defusekids, really. Clace and Guido, they can save, but it's a Deagle and a CZ, that's it. Not ideal.
It's just considering that first buy started off so well for them. You know, that huge damage up and down with the nades, Fasha with a huge spray down. And they even played the post plant very composed, like they know they've got Clace coming around from Banana, and they still don't quite make use of that Molotov that was thrown. Like, he throws it and somehow he's able to win the firefights. Like, clearly not fully got the motive in plan from his teammates there. 5-0 though, you gotta be thinking, they need to get a response going right now, otherwise we will see a repeat of that Endpoint game. So Guido's actually gone for the AWP again. We didn't really see him get involved too much on that CT side, like first buy round. Like, he held that mid peak, but didn't really go for anything too crazy.
Yeah. And then obviously Monu switched up with him, just go for the face.
Straight through it.
Fasha in the flames, trying to go out in a blaze of glory, but instead just goes up in a blaze. Stefan with the frag on Vin. Guido just trying to take these little shots through the smoke, hoping to connect onto someone, but he's paranoid. Ben, he's just spamming out warning shots right now. All the players have repositioned over towards the A bomb site. Losing Clays might just mean it's done. That should be site control. That should be the round. Defusekids, in reality, just save it, surely.
Yeah, I mean, they start off with something completely different. 3 players towards Banana, that's perfectly fine. But Fasha, I mean, I do like that he dedicated to the idea, but sometimes you got to be thinking, there's no way I'm getting through this molly, I can't commit. And you just cancel. But he doesn't, he drops. And the round goes the other way. 6-0. And not much sign of strength here since that first buy round. Console's yet to die, actually. It's 10-0. It's had literally no issue so far.
But here's the difference. Endpoint didn't pause once.
That is true.
In the entire game, Ben. Defusekids have actually used their pause now. So you're 6 rounds down. At this point, it's kind of fair enough. Things haven't improved. You've given it a large amount of time. It's not just the pistol rounds. You're struggling in the rifle rounds. Talk it out. Work out what you can do. It's like 3.7k on the cash. What do they need to switch up, Ben? What's going wrong?
I think during this pause, they're kind of talking about what's actually been going wrong during the buy round. So that first buy round, technically things weren't great until that last post plant. To be fair, Console probably doesn't get all those kills like he did if they do replay that round multiple times. But at least from that round, they think, okay, Fasher landed that was okay, but chances are he won't do that again. Like that 3-man spray down, that will get traded in the future. I did like the idea of that banana play. It's just, like I said, Fasher probably should have notified or realized, cancel, delay or something, not force himself through this Molotov and die to it ultimately.
It was pretty bold, yeah.
Yeah, like I do like when some players do, like if you tell them, you know, jump off this window, like through this window, and they just go, okay, you're the IGL, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta be thinking, no, I won't. That sounds stupid. I'm not doing that. So I think it's just trying to get into a position where they don't have these rounds end so quickly as well, because the momentum is going all the way against them. And I mean, this pause is lasting quite a while too for them. But you can see, half buy comes in. There's 4 smokes in play. Actually, Guido does get his smoke in as well. So 5 smokes. In the old Inferno, you'd stack arch and then keep re-smoking it from arch and keep moving it over there. However, you can't do that anymore. So that changes things a bit with how you'd normally do it. Which does mean they've got 3 players towards banana. It means they could potentially use one of the smokes at the top to try and delay aTTaX's control of banana. But it depends really. Is their end goal to actually have everybody on the same site with these pistols to increase that chance of victory? Or is it to just simply stall them out and hope you win just by stalling for so long?
2 players pushing up towards banana. 2 going to take the fight towards mid. Console spots out the arm of 1 man there. Skido that was just barely pushing over. He smokes it and just hides in position for the meantime, not giving too much info to alternate attacks. They're still dubious of where the true stack could be. But it seems like it's going to be an A play, Ben. They're rotating back around.
Yeah, so Mono used his smoke towards banana, and he instantly decides to rotate from that. But it sounds like he's double-checked it, though. There must have been off that flash he was initially moving. Following these grenades, though, he's got to be on the move. The 2 players at this site, they've got to stay alive for as long as possible, because right now they're getting crunched from all angles. Oh.
Hunden. Swift early opener. They break down the door. Guido playing around the smoke, tries to go for the backstab, eventually gets the adjustment, but it doesn't matter. Sirius was there in close proximity, so that will be the trade. Now they have site control, and they're setting themselves up for a 7th round. Everyone is flooding back over, but they're not really getting too much. Fasher gets himself a follow-up frag onto the AK. The spray comes through. Sirius was so low, but he will still kill him. And that is 7 rounds picked up for alternate attacks, and they're locking it down. Defusekids do have money, though. They can reinvest. Guido on the AWP, everyone else on the rifles. They've all got kits, they've all got utility, but they need to make a stand now.
Yeah, so the big difference maker probably is that they do have all the grenades towards banana. So maybe this time we might see them actually try and take the entire control, but I think Citizen's had such a good spawn here. Molly comes through, he's planning to quick peek this. And because of that, he basically guarantees there's nobody in the corner. If you guys Molotov out the sandbags, we've got top control completely. So there we go. They're already getting control, and it's a minute 30, and it looks like it should be a fast execute, in fact.
Then you've got Console for the lurk play and the backstab, and
this is actually a double angle face from Fasher and Vin here. 1 flash, they're both blind though.
Fasher's
surely you don't play that early.
Vin's gone. The AKs have just killed them in seconds. That's the sight loss. Bomb's going to go down. No chance of a retake on this one. Console could actually try kick them off as well when they're safe, and they're going through Balk, Ben.
He's got a nice lurk spot here. You don't check this corner normally when you're exiting out through these apartments. You just assume everybody's on the other side. But timing is not quite on his side.
But doesn't matter. The rotate on the AWPer. Saracen rotates round, gets off the first kill. The more men they can find on the Defusekids and pick off here, the better this round will be for them. They just want to try and force that economy out of their hands, and they cultivate on top of them. Everyone just converging. They're going to be able to get these kills quite easily. Get to the last one left in the 1 versus 2.
Citizen's so close to the spam here as well.
Oh.
He does get it. I'm just confused by that Fasher and Vin setup. I mentioned at the start of it, they had all the grenades, and they used, I think it was, what, a double grenade down banana, and then they pulled back. So you decided to just do that setup while still having all the grenades in the world. Like, confusing as anything.
Yeah, you got to play around the utility you have there. You can't just... That's like the last attempt.
Yeah, that's to catch the opponent off guard.
Yeah.
Surely you're not doing that at a minute 30. Because no way do they go in contact that early on anyway. And he's managed to get both kills through banana without seeing them. It's going from bad to worse for Defuse, and it does seem like today is not the day for the CT side Inferno at all. No matter what team you are.
No, that T side just looking so strong. aTTaX, they've won the half. 8 rounds already picked up. And they're going to carry on to keep racking these up. It doesn't seem like they're going to be slowing down anytime soon. This should be a 9th round quite easily, and the timing's flawless for them. Just as they come in to start moving all their new furniture in, the other tenant has left, Ben. It's an open house.
The worrying part about this is that this is technically Defusekids' preferred map.
Their #1 map. The map they would want to play the most
of the 7
in terms of the veto.
And this is only aTTaX's 4th. So how on earth does that happen? You know? Like, that's so bizarre.
What's got them stuck in a rut this much? Because, again, interesting enough, a lot of comparisons in terms of the weaknesses we've seen. It's the awkward setups towards the B-bomb site.
A lot of it is a difficult side to play because while it is such a narrow choke point, you still need to have either A, a presence on that whole banana section, B, control the top of the banana section, or you simply will use your utility late. But you need to have a mixture of all 3 of them through the entire half.
Yeah.
And thus far, they've had no control of the banana. They gave the top of banana away in that first gun round, and they planned to retake it, but thankfully Fasher did win that spray fight. And since then, though, they've lost control completely, and they've just been stuck on site and then killed instantly. So it needs to be major adaptation, that whether it's through adding a secondary AWPer, so Vin has picked up the AWP here, or the other potential is you have a 3rd player go there with them to get that early control. They have decided to go for the AWP. So this is essentially last, attempt, last hurrah here. If this doesn't work, they probably will go 3 players there. But that's one of the first times we've seen them get the first kill in the round. And it's instantly equalized. Why is he peeking Arch?
It's a free trade. Guido would have called that as well, known there was a player lurking there, even to the barrel of the AWP. But they both fall back, repositioning as we get into the 4 versus 4. Site control seeming to be a play towards the A-bomb site. It looks like what they want to try and take in the late round. Guido missing the shot with the AWP. He does bait them into the crossfire, and Vin has that angle over by Arch side.
Does he know a player's already got past, though?
I think he got past once the smoke was up, so I don't think he knows.
At the same time, Akita managed to get that free lurk kill onto Guido, and it's just Clace left in pit, and he does get taken down too, and this site is gone. 4v2, Vin and Fasher. Vin's had many chances to get involved in the round, but he doesn't even get the chance to shoot a single bullet. And Hunden takes them both down, 10-0. And none of these rounds have been that close. The only round that was close was that 2v5. Otherwise, it's just been one-way traffic.
This game's been so one-sided on the first half. Both of them just...
Defusekids have a total of 16 kills from the 10 rounds played. Like, that's, it's a horrific average if you think about it. On average, aTTaX have 3 players alive every round. This looks like the classic. Just try and nade damage, push. Another opening kill, followed by a second. This is different. Serson's low as well. Things are looking much better for them.
They have actually caught them off guard with the old CSS mixes strat ban. The nade push down mid, they're overwhelming them. It's just on console. However, he's in a 1 versus 4. 2 of the players are tremendously low. If he can take those firefights, he should be able to win them. Does get the double down and annihilates 2 men. It would be the 5k to win the round. 1 minute and 20 on the clock, but he's going to rotate possibly the whole way around. So he's go back over towards the A site.
So Fasher does have armor here. If he gets a chance to just get an AK of some kind, it's infinitely better. So this rotate has been long enough that they might be thinking he's gone all the way around Arch.
Yeah.
So all the way behind them. This all depends on the timing of Fasher here, on his movement. So you can see he's decided to switch it up a bit. We'll check it again. I think Console might have seen him from the gun. So that's the tag. He's got to be thinking, where's my help? And Guido, not there in time to get the trade. It's technically a 1v5, really. Down to a 1v1. No armor on Guido. And Console's had so much time this entire round to play this out.
This is ridiculous. The Danish destroyer in console. been able to win this round, systematically tearing them apart.
They're about to peek each other.
Oh, he finds the face. It favors him from that angle. He didn't expect it. Gita goes down, and the one chance the Defusekids had, they go for the nade push. They take mid control. All aTTaX playing a default like that. They weren't prepared for it. But he just brings it back, given every opportunity to just take a 1v1. At no point did they group up or peek together, Ben. They were just isolated the whole time.
It was essentially a 1v5 as well. CS1 was T-stairs, but there wasn't much he could do to influence the round. And Console, he's been playing fantastic so far this game, just adding to it. Another 2v5/1v5 loss there for Defusekids. That's... As much as they'd be thinking we should have won those rounds, still, that having those two instances as your closest potential. You're 11-0 down now, you need the rounds. It was 12-0 when Endpoint finally got their first round on the board anyway.
Yep.
And that did only end 16-11. So if Defusekids could get 11-4 here, it's still winnable. But the first round is the hardest.
Just need to break through and get some momentum. They are getting ready for this now. Going to slowly push up. Looking like they might try and back off. Guido on the rotate round with the AWP.
Smoke's about to fade.
Oh, goes down, Ben. Been slapped behind him. He has to find frags that AWP as well. That's such a critical piece. Straight through. The loss of Hunden, but the response of Console towards Fasher. Vin with the M4. Trying to make a mockery out of them, but they are taking this B bomb site, whether they like it or not. Luckily, he can defend for a few more seconds, Ben. The adjustment, the headshot on Quito. This is a 2 versus 3 retake scenario now.
Seriously, he's looking to make the play, trying to get that banana control. As soon as he clears banana, though, or potentially knows that there's nobody there, this changes it completely. He still has a molly, he still has 2 flashes in play as well. Does check that fully, and he does know there's nobody here. That is the post-plant retake smoke coming in from them. Nothing CT. They've wasted the mortar on new box there. And Stefan's actually been mollied out of dark as well. He's been able to peek and get 2 kills. They mollied both sides then, and they still weren't able to get the kill. They weren't watching for the exit. Same thing happened in that 2v5 when they mollied Console at new boxes. Nobody was actually watching for him to exit, and he gets the 3 kills on the way out. 12-0, and honestly, I'm a bit disappointed, really.
I expected more from the
Considering that start,
yeah.
Preferred map.
Yeah, when you look in that statistic and the way the beta goes, I thought that was a mass edge that they had got over them. Just thinking, all right, like that's worked out well for them.
Technically, it's worked out perfectly. You're thinking, going to a Vita process like this, you give them preferred map pool, and it is your top map. And somehow you're not able to string a single round together. Like that. Surely, it's got to be better, right? It's going to be some contact play here at Banana, though. Ooh.
The headshot.
I'm kind of confused why Fasher was going across there.
He's been trying to fight that angle every time. He doesn't really just want to be smoking it off or falling back. It's been a very aggressive face, without support of a flash as well the majority of the time, so...
His teammate's been at coffins just then, though, as well. Like, I was going to say I'm going to assume that Vin was going to flash top Banana for him, but he didn't have a single flash anyway. 3v4 post plant, 2 MP5s and an M4. And down to 1v4 from the instance there. Clay's not really had a chance to get involved this game, if I'm honest. He's been stuck in pit most of the game. Just hoping to make some kills here on the exit. Best he can do. And fully white, that should be him down. 13-0. We might be seeing a 16-0 here, honestly.
It could be a 16-0, Ben, because there's just nothing happening. Defusekids won't even get a chance to defuse.
They've literally not had a chance to defuse.
They have been defused.
True.
They are the defused kids.
Consider the CT side absolutely blowing out the water here, if I'm honest.
But they need rounds now as well, because otherwise the situation we're getting to, if this is a 15-0 half, if you lose that pistol, you're dead. That's it. The game's done. Okay,
I like this slightly. 4 MP5s, and they're just doing the same thing that got them quite close to winning around last. Unfortunately, the first kills are not going their way.
No, not at all. The response is down now to 2 men with the MP5s, 1 with the AK from the distance. The AK is going to be stronger as Console is favoured. He finds that frag, and it's just Fasher and Vin that remain, the B players. They might be able to realise this and just go for the play towards the A site if they've read the positions correctly. Fasher bursts out with the MP5, trying to do some source damage, but does go down. It's left on Vin now in a 1 versus 2, Ben. This is winnable. It is a close affair, but he does not have a kit or any utility. The 1 versus 2 play. Can Defusekids finally defuse a bomb?
Both players are quite low on attacks. Console and Hunden, 31, 35 HP. So it is 2 hits no matter what, basically, depending on how close they are. However, with that flash, the knowledge is there that they know which side he's coming from. Hunden is on site, but he is quite low. He could just Molotov the bomb here and guarantee at least a few more seconds of time for his teammate.
He's going to sprint towards the bomb. They don't peek until it's necessary. Doesn't clear the corner. Hunden peeks. That's the frag. It felt like as well, Vin on the entry there, just kind of chucked that flash out for no reason. Just launched it.
Could have tried to have a drop on something at least, but...
It seemed like he could have actually just used it the more beneficial than just launching it into the air. Well, Defusekids, 14-0.
Some more MP5 buys.
Yeah. What are they going to do? Are they going to push mid again?
The jump across was spotted there, and the push doesn't come out. I mean, it is bizarre to think that their closest technical round was actually just running down mid with pistols and grenades. Like, that just seems absolutely wild, because some people would suggest that and be like, no, that sounds ridiculous, I'm not doing that.
It seems absurd.
That sounds like a throwaway round.
Yeah.
14-0 though. No grenades really left on that small site, just a single smoke. There is some okay utility left on the big site. Like, there is a molly, 2 flash, like 2 smokes. And the take will come through. So that is the same flash, like smokes coming in there, in the archway, I believe, and then in the library entrance. And the same thing's happened again. He's given it up. Unless there's a flash there from his team, he can't really do anything. The flash comes through. He's been blinded by his team.
Oh, that is unfortunate. He was in the back line. Could have been able to do so much damage. There could have been a 2K, but the team flash, it all starts to crumble away. Then it's just Fasher and Vin that remain in the 2 versus 5. Bomb has gone down now as well, so it gets tougher by the second. Just Fasher left. Dion has to try clutch it. They're all just going to peek him. They've got confidence. They've got the kill, and they've got 15 rounds. Not a single round achieved for the Defusekids.
On their supposed best map.
It doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it, no. And this is an alternate attack side who've lost their first game.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're tilted. They've lost. Yeah, they've lost the fish 1-2-3. They got slapped in the face by a fish, so now they've walked in here and slapped up Defusekids.
Stank the place up.
Yeah, that stinker tuna.
And just laid it down on Defusekids, apparently. Like, that's... Oh. Maybe I'm a curse when I cast Inferno. CT side seems to be always horrendous.
They just can't play.
I get... I don't know. I don't know.
Well, this could be our final round of the second matchup of the day here, rather. As if they win the pistol round, that is it. It'll be done for. Defusekids have to win this. That is the only chance they have, and they clear towards mid. Defusekids looking to try and go for more of an aggressive. Yeah, they're just a fast-paced burst towards the A site off the back of the flashbang. They are blind, Ben, but they're just commanding their way around. But look at the rotate already from the Defusekids side. They're trying to get in position. There is a trade, but the backstab from Guido is good.
Good advantage position for the Defusekids.
Oh.
Even missing those like small shots like that.
Monu had to win that fight.
Good flash from his teammate there. Clace is forcing the issue, but a bit slow on the actual peak there. Doesn't quite get the kill, and there was a chance there for Defusekids to actually go ahead further. A 2v3, it's very, very scrappy, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. That was the most awkward firefight between all of these mates. They were just lost.
I don't know what to think about some of these battles that we're seeing, honestly.
Very odd.
It's so... Scrappy's one word for it, but it's just like... I don't know. I really don't know.
It was just a bit weird. It was just a really weird site take, and then...
The thing is, it looks like a tilted pistol round call as well.
Yeah,
just run up
just
mid.
push A.
I'll just flash. I'll keep throwing grenades, honestly. But somehow they do get the round. They need 14 more, though, is the issue.
Saracen going to smoke towards mid. Molotov goes down. Through the smoke, he will die, though. Killed by Guido. So at least they're getting an early pick. And Defusekids, they've kind of got the next 3 rounds to play with. This should be them getting back into the action, obviously get themselves to a 15-3 scoreline. Then alternate aTTaX are going to be able to rebuy Ben. That's where it gets scary.
Console hadn't actually reloaded his CZ that whole time. And this is
just killed
Ben. Team
Vince
kills coming
kills.
through. Console has an AK, and Keto, surely not.
Oh!
To get the win! What?
He's team killed.
He's team killed the guy.
It's all crumbled, and then he's just been allowed to walk out and... What? What are these games?
That second half alone, just the 2 rounds, had enough chaotic plays that I really don't know what to tell you.
Well, that was
Honestly.
bizarre. Alternate aTTaX, they've won that one. They've been able to lock it down. Fair play to them. Obviously, their T side looked very effective.
Yeah.
A close affair on the opening round there as well. A little bit of an odd one. And then the follow-up, they win on the anti-eco, and they lock it down.
Yeah. Special thanks to Clace, I suppose, for that round.
Supporting by killing Vin,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Dead now.
I'm just confused how that Defusekids have that as their preferred map.
I don't know. That's really weird. That is an interesting one of that being the #1 map they would wish to play, and it just seemed like they were not comfortable on it at all.
Not at all. I mean, I'd be kind of afraid if you're an outside team looking into this, like you play them later on in the day, like aTTaX. That's their 4th preferred map,
Yeah.
in theory.
If that's their 4th map, what level is everything else at? Would
Yeah.
be
Is the question, isn't it?
the yeah.
So, I mean, fair play to them. 16-1 after losing their first game of the group stage. It does mean Defusekids are now 0-2, though. They've arguably lost to the 2 higher seeds, let's say. LDLC, aTTaX, probably the higher 2 of that
The 2
group.
stronger teams that group.
Yeah.
The worry is that you've also got teams like Fish,
Yeah,
the upset
that's the
potential,
other
the unknowns that are definitely going to do good. If they've already beaten alternate aTTaX,
Yeah, and that's crucial against his old teammates as
Yeah.
well. So he'll be feeling that personal.
he'll want to play well,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he's someone that gets very pumped up as well. So not too fantastic at all. Alternate aTTaX just annihilated their way through. Defusekids did not stand a chance, and they're going to need to get their heads screwed on tight if they're going to do anything else throughout the group stage. As the next game we have is Team Kinguin going up against Triple A. Ben.
Hey.
A. But we'll be back for that one. In the meantime, enjoy these replays, some highlights of alternate aTTaX, just smurfing against Defusekids here, and we will see you after the break.